Hello guys, welcome back to the crew calling all units. Comparison test number 13. We are still comparing the 1497 cars and we are still in the dirt specs. Dirt category number 6, more specifically utility. As you can see on the number of videos that I have ready to show, is also the biggest category. And there are a few good ones about. Let's start with the first one. BMW X6. I'm just doing them alphabetic order, so BMW is the first one to show up. But yeah, if you're a bit familiar with the game, you know that this is competition for the roughs in dirt spec. If you do not like the roughs and even on specific tracks, this thing is competition for those things. So let's see, what did we have in the sports category? We had the 3400K rough doing a 248 and the Exige doing a 249. The rough RT was the only contender in the super sports, in the supercars, so I didn't, really had to go for it, seeing it was the only car, but it did 246 or 7 I think, something like that. But this thing has a pretty good acceleration as well. It's not as extreme as in the rough RT, but nevertheless, handling wise it's also good. And although it is a heavy SUV, you can sort of throw it in the corner and you can also pull it out because it has the acceleration and it keeps going pretty smoothly. Which is not something you can say from the roughs because they slide all over the place and you are fighting with the cars from start to finish. Not so much with this one. Smoothly can throw it around the track. With a constant power available to you. As you can see, not that much issues with the uphill either. Some cars almost came to a standstill on that section, but nope, not with this thing. Also has a pretty powerful NOS or nitro boost, whatever you want to call it. No, with the release of calling all units and such, they've been messing about with the gearbox. They have fixed the clutch bug, and by doing so they are messing about with the automatic gearbox. They kinda broke that one. There's a problem in track trials where cars do not shift and such, or unless you have to press the button twice and such. This one has a bit of a problem on starts, but nevertheless, once it's going, it keeps going. And with a 243.2, that is 3 or even 4 seconds faster than the rough here. Is that normal? No, probably not, because I didn't really push the rough over this track, because it was the only one in that category. But nevertheless, the roughs, both the 3400 as the RT, are kind of a bit of a fight, especially if you play with a keyboard, and this thing goes smoother. Not on all tracks though. Doesn't mean I will not drive the roughs, but this is an option. It's faster than the rough, so obviously this thing goes into the winner's battle. That is for sure. Contender number 2 in the utility category, Cadillac Escalade, which is a DLC car, meaning that If you have the season pass, you will have your hands on this thing. If you do not have the season pass, then you can buy one of these DLC packs which contain 3 cars. I'm not specifically sure, is it in the extreme pack or in the raid pack or something, where this Cadillac Escalade is in. Or you can also buy the car separately. That's how it goes with the DLC situation. You can buy one car if you want, or you can buy a pack of 3 cars, or you can buy the season pass where you have all the packs of 3 cars. It is a bit heavy, this thing, but in dirt it's not even that bad. Of course, we did a 243 in the BMW. We're not gonna come something near. Most likely, there are 9 cars more next to the BMW in this category. Most likely, none of them will approach the 243 we did with the BMW, but for some reason, the devs seem to like this car. Although it is a DLC car, that's already 2 or 3 times last year that they have put it in a brand time attack. Is that a problem? Well, not for me, but it is for someone who does not have the DLC cars, and then they can't use that car. Or they can use it with the level of 990 while other people are driving 1299 and 1497 cars. So not really fair, is it? And usually they change the situation after a day or 2 or a 3-day and a half qualifier, and then after 2 days they suddenly change the car, which means you have to set a new time with the car that they replace it with. But also yesterday's patch probably has fixed that. I read something about it, that they have fixed the situation with wrong cars in summit events. So I'm assuming that's what they are were on about in that line. Cars like this Escalade should not be used in the brand time attack because not all people have this car. But although it is pretty heavy, you can see this thing goes around pretty smooth all in all. It's just a little bit slower, which means that you lose quite a bit of time sliding into the covers. Not really immediately the power available, because it is also spinning a bit of wheels, first and second gear. But it is a heavy beast. I think it weighs over, I didn't check the weight here at the beginning of this video, but I think it weighs over 2.5 kilograms. 2.5 ton, 2,500 kilograms plus. Resulting in a 253.1. That is about 10 seconds slower than the X6, but most likely all the other cars in this category will do a slower time. So we will see what this 253 is. If it's good enough to go into the winner's battle, maybe not, because I think there are 1 or 2 will be faster for sure, next to the BMW, that is. Contender number 3 in this utility category, Chevrolet Silverado. Not a SUV this time, but a pickup, and yeah. It is, according to some, in race spec, one of the top 3 next to the Mustang and the Camaro in 1969. Although there are others, depending on speedy tracks, not so much those top 3, but handling wise they are. In third spec, on the other hand, this Silverado is not going to be the top 3. It's spinning wheels. It's well, by the looks of it, sort of a long bed version that we have here. That all adds to the weight. You're stuck in second gear, you're stuck in first gear, spinning wheels, and then it eventually switches to third gear, and you go low RPM and do not have power unless you're over 4000 RPM, and that just makes it slow. Kinda normal that these things completely off-road, meaning in race spec, that they are pretty good. But on these dirt roads, which are sort of, well, in a way they are rally tracks, and so we're doing a rally with a pickup. In that way, that already doesn't sound like it should. Unless you're in a race spec, of course. Spinning wheels, second gear, uphill, problem. And then when you're almost up the hill, it switches to third gear and you completely lose all power, and even spin out. And the biggest problem this thing has, it's not only its wheel spinning, but then you try to play around with the nitro a bit, but then it even gets worse. Then it even spins wheels longer than if you don't use the nitro, but then you don't have enough power, so it's always a bit of playing around with it. No, it sticks in second gear for way too long. And on a track like this, where you almost go down to second gear every corner, you have the same problem in every corner. First gear wheel spin, second gear wheel spin. And you need some power to keep it going, so you need to give it some nitro boost, so yeah. Like here I didn't use it, nitro, and then you get these situations where you hardly move. Three minutes and 10 seconds. We had a 2:43 with the BMW XX. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Slowest time so far, and let me have a check here. Yeah, slowest time that we will do here. So, get rid of the video. For the simple reason that it will definitely not be the winner, not in this category and also not in dirt. Silverado, not that good in dirt. It's one of the best in rate, but not in dirt. That's how it goes in this game. Another pickup. 2004 model though. While the Silverado is 2010 or 2012, I think. The Dodge Ram SRT 10. (616 horsepower, 920 Newton meters of torque, and 1700 kilograms. In comparison to the Silverado, which is also a pickup but seems to have a long bed version in the game in dirt, this is more like the short bed version or medium bed or whatever. Understeer a bit though. But seeing it is shorter and smaller than Silverado, it should go around a bit faster as well. Also get stuck a bit though. Second gear, the speed goes up, but it keeps in second gear on the limiter, and that makes it wheel spin a bit. First gear, same story. So it kinda had the same problem as the Silverado. First and second gear limiter, it's stuck. But this is lighter and smaller, so it moves out of the corner faster than the Silverado, which keeps even longer hanging about in the corners. You really have to throw it in the corner, because if you don't, you get some understeer. So you sort of have to throw it in, and then you can smoothly go through the corners. Resulting in a 256.6. Not even such a bad time. But yeah, if you have a 243 in the BMW and a 253 in the Escalade, and there are a few more to come, then you already know that this is not going to go into the winner's battle either. But we'll stick with the pickups. This time we're moving to Ford. The Ford F150 SVT Raptor. Let's see what this one can do. The last one of the pickups, unless you consider the Hummer as well as a pickup, but 865 horsepower though, 1100 Newton meters of torque, but it also weighs over 2000 kilograms. So it needs a bit more power, since it's heavier than some of the other pickups. Also this one seems to be a club cap version, but short bed as well. That's also the problem in this game, you can't really compare because they put different versions in. Like for instance, I'm thinking of is the hot hatch category. You have a Ford Focus and you have a Volkswagen Golf. They are competition, also in real life. They play in the same category, but you have a Golf GTI and you have a Ford Focus RS in this game, but those are not competition. Focus RS goes up against the Golf R, and the Golf GTI goes up against the Focus ST. And it's sort of the same with here with these pickup things. One has a short bed, the other one has a long bed. Some of them have a diesel engine, the others have like the sport version of it with the V8 petrol engine and so on. So yeah, both of them are pickup, but that's about it. This thing does not get stuck in the limiter. As a matter of fact, it goes into the red zone if you hit the shifter. And with 800 horsepower it will get around a bit smoother than the Silverado, but yeah. I already mentioned that this will be the slowest time of the whole lot, so everything is going faster than Silverado. In dirt spec at least. .243, the time of the BMW is already gone, and that was a bit white. It's gonna cost me a second or two. But even then it's still faster than the Ram and then the Silverado, so in this situation probably the best pickup. But a 253.9 it's slower than the Escalade and slower than many of the other cars that we already tested, so no. So far only the BMW X6 will go into winner's battle. Maybe the Escalade, depending a bit on the times we are going to do with the next ones. Probably not this one. I don't think this will be faster. The Hummer H1 Alpha. Can definitely have some fun off-road with these things. Has a race spec version, but also on dirt roads you can have some fun with it, but just, you know, hanging about with friends. You can definitely play around with cops or something in this thing, that is for sure. Why? Well, because it's one of the heaviest things, well, not heaviest, but the more solid, let's put it that way. Also in monster spec, if you have like people playing around and starting ramming you if you're just standing somewhere, they can come up with a monster spec. If you take the monster spec from the Hummer, they're not gonna move you much, because that's the most solid and heaviest one, and it's sort of the same for dirt. You can push people around with this car in every spec that it has. I sort of, well, made a pickup version of it in dirt. You can play around with it, you can sort of close that bed from the pickup thing. You can close it up and put an extra part on there, which sort of makes it more like an SUV look. Diesel engine, by the way, in case I haven't. Okay, and a bit of a understeer problem there as well. Duramax diesel, which is not even sure, 6 liters something, I think. But there is another car with a diesel engine, and that is a little bit better, as you will see later on. And that mainly has to do with gears. This thing has, not even sure, I think 5. I've seen 4 gears so far, but obstacles are not really a problem. Few tires, a light post, an electricity post, no, not really. Those things will just fly out of the ground and hardly any damage on your car. It's one of those cars, yeah, up or around 3 minutes, I think. But of course, we had a free-dive challenge bug once more, meaning that it didn't immediately finish. Took quite a few seconds before it actually gave the results of 301.5. We have faster things in this category, so also this one. Although it is heavy and solid, can play around with it, but time-wise for time attacks, not really. So it's not going into the winner's battle either. That brings us with the Jeep Grand Cherokee, in this case in SRT livery. I think it's even under the SRT badge on your collection board, but it is a Jeep, as you can see. 664 brake horsepower, 1900 Newton meters of torque, and 1700 kilograms. 243 for the BMW, probably not. Escalade had done at the 253. The Raptor also at 253. I think it should be able to beat that one, but we'll see. Because in street, it was one of the 2 winners in. Hello, Nightbug. Seriously. Was one of the 2 winners in the utility category. But then it was in the winners battle was the Countryman and this Cherokee for the street. Yeah, then they were a bit outpowered there in street spec. This thing has a street and a dirt spec, and in both scenarios, well, it's playing around. You can keep up. If you're in an easy PvP lobby, you're dealing with some new players who don't know the tracks, or who are showing up there in the lobbies with low level cars, or just can't drive, whatever. You definitely have a shot with this thing. It's one of those cars you do not see them, because no, of course not, that's how it goes in PvP. People are always driving the same cars, and that is mainly due to the devs not paying attention to PvP anymore. And that's sort of more and more starting to bothering me. I can understand that they focus on the latest expansion, in this case calling all units, but they should also take care of some upgrades, some improvements on previous expansions like Wildrun and even the base game PvP, for instance. In dirt it's kinda okay, but in performance we have 85 different cars and you can only use about 5. All the other 80 cars are useless. Simple solution for it. Select a brand. Next to the specs or next to the race, select the brand. For instance, Jeep. It's pretty simple. You can use the Grand Cherokee, you can use the Wrangler, and that's it. Sort of like Summit PvP, but then instead of everybody driving the same car, just open it up a little bit and make it brand selected. That's my opinion on it. 250.1. The Escalade is beaten, which means that the Escalade will also not go into the winner's battle. This one might. We have 3 more to come. And by the looks of it, 250, yeah, it is even faster than the Ford Focus, which I did at 252, and that was the winner in the hot hatch category. So this Cherokee is definitely going into the winner's battle, since it's faster than one of the winners in the other category. Meanwhile, we are at number 10, and I was just talking about the Jeeps. Here is the other one. Calling all units, exclusive car, the Jeep Wrangler. That means you need to have calling all units, or you cannot get your hands on this one, nor on the police version of this thing, but that doesn't matter. This one or the police version, power-wise, handling-wise, they are the same. And as a police version, yeah, it has not much meaning in this game. Not only do the street racer use mostly performance and circuit specs, if they do use a dirt spec, then they show up with something like a fast rough or anything, and you're not gonna keep up with that in this Wrangler. And this is the only dirt spec that we have available as police cars at this moment. That will change though, because they are going to bring the rough in a police version, and probably some others as well, because that's most likely what I think. They're gonna focus on calling all units, and they're gonna bring more and more police cars, and also in different specs. Not only circuit and performance, like they are focusing on at the moment. This thing of course is not that wide, not that long and large and all that, so as you can see you can throw it about a bit, but the problem is you throw it in the corner and it doesn't want to come out. Keeps going into a straight line, going towards the outside of the corner, aka understeer. So you have to go off throttle to put it back in a straight line that you want it to go on the road and not towards the upper road. So most of the corners you have to slow down and you lose time due to an understeer problem, which is also, if I recall, kinda had in street spec. And even in race spec, if I remember correctly, from the Driving All Car series, where I tested car by car. Although this corner, time around 2 minutes, not even that bad. Yeah, this is sub 3 minutes for sure on the finish, or at least it should be, unless I gonna fly up the rocks here or something, but so we had a 253 for the Escalade, a 253 for the Raptor, a 250 for the Cherokee, so Cherokee is winning that. BMW, don't mention it anymore, because yeah, 243, it was like outpowering everything. Seemed to be another 253 or 4 something. Yep, 250.3. So a 253.1 for the Escalade, 253 for this Wrangler, 253.9 for the Raptor. Couple of 253 cars, but that is middle of the pack. So also this one, nope, not gonna go to the winner's battle. Maybe this one. The Mini Countryman, it's sort of an elevated version of the Mini Cooper. This is the Mini Countryman Cooper S version, must add, because the normal Cooper is a 1.6 liter engine, and the Cooper S is a 1.6 turbo engine. 390 horsepower it gets here in dirt spec. But yeah, also 1100 kilograms. We have been testing cars here which were 2500 kilograms, so it's about half. It's an all 4 of course, which means that 4-wheel drive, obviously. We already tested the Mini in the hot hatch category, but that didn't have 4-wheel drive, and that also showed. That's also the reason why the Focus won the hot hatch category and not the Mini. What did we do? We did a 258 or a 259 in the Mini, I think. This has a 4-wheel drive, we are on dirt roads, this should be better. While in street it was the other way around. Although in street spec this was the winner in the utility category. Although it was close with the Cherokee, but... So let's compare it to that, I guess. The utility winners, the Cherokee did a 2.50 here. And that's bigger, wider and heavier. So in theory this thing should be faster, man. But it also has less power, of course, so it's balanced out. It's a bit of a dark color, this brown I think it is. But yeah, that's how I do things. I put official colors and rims and such on the car, and this has a few specs available, not so much colors, so which means I was left with the brown for this dirt spec. Since it is small, you can easily throw it into the corners, although it does suffer from a bit of lack of power and also a bit of understeer here and there. Where are we? 238 at the moment. 2 corner and a long straight to go, so I don't know. 250 Cherokee time is gone. Yeah, and especially if you hit the fence there. 251, 252 something if I wouldn't hit that fence, but at 253.2 we eventually ended up. So this was a pretty tight fight with the Cherokee in street, not so much in dirt. It seems like the Cherokee is a bit faster though in dirt than this thing. So let's see. Nope, not going to the winner's battle. Because next to the BMW X6 and the Jeep Grand Cherokee, also this one is not that bad in dirt spec, the VW Touareg. Also diesel engine, just like in the Hummer. But here it has a difference that this thing has 8 gears, so you get some short shifting going on all of the time, and that makes it go around pretty smooth. I don't think it has 8 gears in race spec, but it does in the dirt spec. So what you're not gonna get is wheel spin with the car getting stuck in second gear like some of these cars had, because this thing is constantly shifting and doing and because it has to go through the 8 gears every time. That also gives a bit of a problem here and there, because it's a bit shifting too much, but acceleration wise it does help you here. Is there a problem with this car? Not really, other than it being a DLC car, just like the Escalade, and it's the same story. You can get this car separately if you want to get it. You can buy it in a pack of 3. This thing comes in the rate next to the Escalade, I think. The Escalade, the Touareg, those are rate pack cars, I believe. And then, for some reason, they also put in the McLaren F1 there, in that pack. So you can buy that pack, then you have those 3 cars, or you can get the season pass, and then you will have all the DLC packs. That's sort of the options you have to get your hands on this car. If you buy an ultimate or a complete edition of this game, the season pass will be included, and then you have this car as well, of course. So what do we have here? We have a 243 for the BMW X6 and a 250 for the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Those are the fastest times out of the 9 cars that we've tested, and this is the last one in this category, so let's see where it finishes up. Both the X6 and the Cherokee will go into the winner's battle, and so will this one, but just not sure where yet. We'll have a look at that. Oh, 243 BMW time. 246.4. That is even, although I didn't push the RT of the rev, but that's faster than the rev. It's faster than the Exige. It's faster than the Focus, and those are category winners. This one isn't, because the utility category is won by the BMW X6, followed by this one and the Jeep Grand Cherokee. That means that for the utility category, those 3 cars will go into the winner's battle, and that means we have 1 spot open for that winner's battle, in which I put 10 cars. In this case, in dirt there are 7 categories, so pretty simple. The category winners will go into the battle, and then I take the 3 fastest cars next to those winners. And well, we have to take these with us. That means that we have 1 category left, and those are the bikes. And that means that only one of the bikes will go into the winners battle, so that we have our team 10 cars and bikes. We'll see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.